On the side, just hang with me here a quick second. Just hang on a quick second. All right. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I know maybe some of y'all were looking for a little preview predictions video. Well, not a video, it's a live stream, but here it is. I think this is just how I'm going to do it moving forward, man. So with that being said, what's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great Friday night so far. The Falcons, I mean, it was a great win last week versus the Aints. I think any win versus the Aints is a great win. Got back into first place, and really now it's us in prime position. Going forward these final 6 weeks into this season. Despite a 5-6 record, we lead this division. We know this division is a pretty bad division. So you can say, but regardless, we're leading it. But got another big game here. I think every game down the stretch, you have to realize it's kind of a big game. So with that being said, going up to New York this weekend, first and foremost, before we really talk about the game, anything like that pertaining to the game, other topics we might go into, hit the subscribe button, post notification bell. You'll know whenever I put out any content. I don't think I'm gonna stream the game on Sunday. I don't think I'm gonna do it. But yeah, so all right. I think if you really want to look at it so far, obviously it's been an up and down season, but as we head into this final stretch, we're in prime position. We're in prime position for a playoff spot, to host a home playoff game, to win the division. We control our own destiny. We are in the driver's seat as of today. And we got another big one going up to East Rutherford this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and say I'll talk about the game. I'm probably going to tell Falcons fans what they don't want to hear, but what they probably need to hear about this game. If you watched my picks video earlier in the week, you will know why. I think when looking at the New York Jets, I'll start off by saying, when looking at the New York Jets, obviously that season was flipped upside down. No one was expecting Aaron Rodgers to tear his Achilles 4 snaps into the season. And when that happened, the Jets season basically got flipped upside down, because then you had to throw Zach Wilson in there, and he was not very good. The plan was to redshirt Zach Wilson for a few years while Aaron Rodgers was there, and then go from there. But that did not work out. And now Tim Boyle is starting at quarterback for the Jets. So, I mean, it's been a dreadful season for that Jets team. That had so many expectations heading into, the start of the season. Obviously, as I said, no one's expecting Aaron Rodgers to tear his Achilles. That's just what happened. I will say, though, if you look at that New York Jets defense, that is a defense that, you want to talk about the Falcons defense has suffered at times this year. That Jets defense is absolutely the definition of, they're literally doing everything they possibly can to win, but the offense is just, not even the offense, the quarterback play is just that bad in compared. That is an offense literally built for Aaron Rodgers to run. And the fact that he's not there is the main reason the Jets are in the position that they are. Their season is hanging on by a thread. Literally, if they lose this game, it's pretty much done. I know they're talking about Aaron Rodgers could come back. The Jets would have to win this weekend for that to even be a possibility, in my opinion. I mean, granted, anything can happen. I think we all know Aaron Rodgers. If he wants to do something, he's going to do everything in his power to do it. But if they want to be playing meaningful football and that increased chance of Aaron Rodgers coming back, they got to win this weekend. That's the way they're looking at it. For us, listen, it's about taking care of business, controlling our destiny, staying in that driver's seat, not making it harder than it should be. However, here's where I'm gonna really start to tell Falcons fans. I know a lot of Falcons fans are probably not gonna want to hear this. By the time we face it, the Falcons are always going to try to find a way to make it harder than it actually should be. And that leads me into what I'm going to say. I have a bad feeling about this game versus the New York Jets. I really feel like this game versus the Jets, I think that everyone, in this fan base, we feel like this should be a win. And it should be a win. We should be able to go into New York. Our defense should be able to dominate. Our offense, that Jets defense is really good. So it's not like this offense is coming out and having a big day versus that defense. Now, you can run the ball in the Jets. I'll say that. You can get that run game going to an extent, which will definitely favor the Falcons. We'll talk about it in a second. But you can definitely get that running game going versus the Jets. But with that being said, this is a game you look at and you say the defense should come out and dominate. And they probably should. I don't think the defense is going to let Tim Boyle come out and throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. I think there's a better chance I get struck by lightning than this ends up being some 35-34 shootout game. I think it's going to be the exact opposite of that, but I'll talk about that in a second. With that being said, my main thing is I do want to see consistency. I think that's what a lot of people want to see. We want to see consistency. We want to see consistency in how this team plays in general. The play calling that you get from the offense, Arthur Smith. And last week versus New Orleans overall was a really good game. There were definitely some flaws in there, some questionable marks. There's always going to be that in every game. I think we know that. Ritter with the 2 interceptions. You definitely want to see him clean that up. But that's what I'm talking about. It's inconsistency still. But overall last week, the Falcons got back to basics. They got back to doing what this team was built to do, and that's running the damn football. We ran for, 230 yards last week? That's the reason why we won. We ran the football, and that second half we just dominated in that fashion. So I'm going to go ahead and say if the Falcons want to win this game, yeah. You already know what you have to do. There's no arguing, debating, anything. You have to run the damn ball down their fucking throats. Because another thing is it's supposed to be in the East Rutherford area all day Sunday calls for rain. I don't know how heavy, but it's going to be raining up there. That's what the forecast calls for. So, that's not going to make it any easier. And that's why I honestly say this is probably going to end up being a very low scoring ball game. Let me go ahead and see what the spread and the over under is on this game. I believe we're favored by 2 last time I looked at it. So yeah, we're favored by what, 2 right now. So I think you definitely have to look at it and say, let me see, the Falcons are favored by 2. What's this over under 33.5? So they don't think it's going to be a high scoring game as it is. To be honest, man, I gotta take the under on that. Still, I don't, because what would that be? About what, 1913, something like that, 2014, somewhere around. I mean, I guess that game could definitely end up being around that. So I guess that's kind of a do what you feel, really, but I gotta take the under on that. I really think this is gonna be a low scoring ball game on Sunday. This is gonna turn into a dogfight really quickly. I think you're going into a dogfight, as a matter of fact. It's just gonna be 60 minutes of who is more efficient and who can make more plays in that rain. Now, I will say, Breece Hall, Jets running back, he's a dog. It scares me. You cannot let him get loose. I think if the Jets are smart, they'll definitely lean a lot into that running game. The thing is, the Falcons have one of the better run defenses in the NFL. But I really feel like what I don't have a good feeling about heading into this game is our offense. I need to see this offense be consistent. I really do. I can't take any more of just seeing this offense not really have an idea of what they're gonna do on a week-to-week basis at a consistent level. Because one week you might get an offense call that overall, is pretty sufficient. You can roll with. Okay, there's something to build off of here. And some weeks you're just looking at, from the calls made in the red zone to, all the little bullshit that there is. You really just look and say, what the fuck is this? I mean, no one's going to succeed. You can't, have Ritter come out and, tell him to win you this game. You can't put him in that position, especially in this type of game. This is a game where you have to get your running game going. Bijan, Algier, CP. I really honestly feel like, man, I think this is a big Algier game. I got to be honest. I think this is probably a big Tyler Algier game. You got to get him really going between the tackles. I feel like that right side is definitely going to be a key in this game. And you really have to be able to – I feel like this is really going to be who's more dominant in that second half, to me, is going to be what this game comes down to. Who's the more dominant team in the second half that's able to close this one out? And to be honest, this could really be a battle of field goals. It really could. Now, that should definitely favor us because we got, statistically speaking, the greatest kicker of all time. Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all saw that. Who now has the highest field goal percentage made percentage in NFL history now, like a minimum of 150 attempts. Man, this guy, I see the chat. I see you, Jerry, Skyler. Scholar, it ain't gonna be that high scoring. it ain't gonna be 34. I could be wrong. It ain't gonna be no. Might be like 14-11. That's not my final score prediction. I can see it being that. It ain't gonna be no high scoring. The Falcons ain't going up there scoring 34 points. Come on. I would like it. I would, but come on, man. I just, this really to me feels like this could turn into the battle, field goals. And if it's going to be raining, obviously that's going to make conditions a whole lot harder. So with that being said, man, it just, to me, it also feels like this is really going to be a game that comes down not necessarily who gets in the end zone, but it's going to come down to a battle of field position and who is set up better to kick the most field goals. That's what this game comes down to. Now, realistically, that should not be all that bad for the Falcons. The big issue for the Falcons is going to be, that's probably more like it, Scott. That's probably more like it. 14-12, something like that. That's probably more like it. But I think this is probably going to end up being like a battle of field goals. Going to end up being just at the end of the day, who's in better position to kick those short field goals and win. That should not be all that hard for the Falcons. The big issue for the Falcons has been getting in the end zone. But, man, this is just that game, and we're having to go to New York, a dome team in the element. It's not favorable. It really isn't. And another thing that I'm really, really worried about heading into this game is that turf. That damn turf in MetLife Stadium just scares the shit out of me, especially with it raining. Because in a clear as sunny New York day, that turf can be a motherfucker. So just imagine when the rain is coming down and that turf is going to be all fucked up from the elements. So I'm really worried, especially about the star player. Something happening to them. I'm really worried heading into this game about that. You can say all you want, it's just can't be paranoid. I mean, at the end of the day, look at the track record of that fucking field. You should be worried too. You really should. So overall, do the Falcons have a chance to win? Definitely. But I think the big thing here is going to be establishing that running game, getting that running game going, and keeping it consistent throughout. I really feel like Algier and CP are going to be big in this game. I would not be shocked if this is not that big of a Bijan game if you really look at it. I could definitely see this being more of a Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson type game, kind of like that Bucks game was. As far as the passing game goes, I don't think Drake London has a big day at all, especially going up against Sauce Gardner, who is literally right up there, is establishing himself as one of the top corners in the NFL. Kyle Pitts, I don't know what Pitts, that's going to be a tough conversation to have in the offseason. It really is. Am I going to the game? I wish I was, but no, I'm not going to the fucking game. I don't got that type of money. I wish I did. Because trust me, I don't mind watching the Falcons in the rain. I did it last year in Charlotte. Oh shit, you're going to the game? Oh shit, that's what's up. You live near the New Jersey area? You going to the game someday? No, I'm not going to the game. I'll be sitting. It's raining all up and down the East Coast this weekend. You got the SEC championship tomorrow, and then obviously the Falcons on Sunday. So yeah, that's pretty much my weekend. That's a typical fall weekend for me. Man, that's what's up, man. Y'all have a good time. Just take it all in, man. I don't know if this is your first game or not, but take it all in. Enjoy the experience. Oh no, I'm not. I don't. I really, honestly wish I was, but I don't got that type of money. I don't. I'm saving up all my money for playoff tickets. I got to be honest. I maybe could have gone to the SEC championship game because I'm a Bama fan. Obviously, I got a lot of family that's Georgia fans, so I definitely could have gone with them. But nah, we don't. And I'm more really worried about just getting Falcons playoff tickets. So yeah, I'll be at home tomorrow, but yeah, Roll Tide week. It's going to be interesting to see how the playoff picture. Say go Bulldogs. Yeah. What is Alabama in the SEC championship all time? 3-0 versus Georgia. Could very well be 4-0 after tomorrow. But hey, I'm not making any guarantees. I'm really not. I'm interested to see one way or another how that fucking playoff, how they're gonna fucking determine based off of all the bullshit that happens. Yeah, man. I honestly, man, I gotta be honest. I think, we definitely should, but man, I just gotta be honest. Still a long few weeks left. These are the most important weeks of the season. But I definitely think overall we should, mainly just because, man, this division is so awful. But getting back into this game, this really feels to me like a type of game you have to get Algier and CP going. I could see this being a lot like the Tampa game in terms of it just really has that feel. But it's not going to be high scoring at all. I really don't see it being high scoring. I just overall feel like as far as, and I was talking about, Kyle Pitts, that's a tough conversation we're going to have this offseason. It's a conversation a lot of Falcons fans don't want to have. But it's one we're going to have this offseason. You're a Cowboys, Hawks, Braves, and Dogs fan, so you lost me with the fucking Cowboys. I might get you the fuck out of here. Yeah, man. I really honest. That's going to be a tough conversation to have this offseason. I could see Jonnu having a nice game. I could definitely see Jonnu having a nice game. I would not be shocked if maybe he's our leading receiver on the day. With that being said, man, I just really feel like that's the way this game is going to go. It's going to be a nasty ball game. Probably going to be very boring. And as I said, it's going to come down to a battle of field position and who can kick the most field goals. I'm worried about the turf. But overall, this is a game you look at it and you say we should win. Man, look, I don't have a good feeling about this game. I don't like the situation we're going into with the elements. I feel like at times, that could, definitely disadvantage us. So I know Falcons fans, they don't want to hear this, man. I gotta go with the Jets here. I just do. I have to pick the Jets. I definitely think the Falcons can win. It's just you got to show me consistency. Prove me wrong. I say it whenever I pick against the Falcons. I don't want to. Prove me wrong. Make me come on here on Sunday after this game, win, and say one of the first things I was wrong. I was wrong. Y'all came out, y'all did y'all's thing, y'all took care of business. But at the end of the day, man, it's just I need to see consistency. I need to. And I want to start seeing it sooner rather than later. So you got to play at a consistent pace, but I feel like this is that type of game where it could be hard to get any consistency going. But also, this is the type of game you are supposed to be built to win. So at the end of the day, man, there's a lot of moving variables. I guess that's a fucking Arthur Smith line. There's a lot of moving variables. But I guess however you want to put it in that language, however the hell you want to say it. With that being said, I gotta pick the Jets here. I don't want to, but I just something tells me that the Jets are going to win. I'm gonna honestly go with a final score like 12-6. I said it on my picks video earlier this week. I don't think this is high scoring at all. As I said, I think that's battle of the field goals. Who can kick more field goals? But you have to show consistency to me. That's the big thing. You gotta show consistency. You gotta be consistent. That's really how to break it down, man. So yeah, I want to be proved wrong. As I say, prove me wrong. Go out there. The main thing I'm praying for coming out this game is no injuries. Just please no injuries. Especially to our major stars. No injuries to any. But especially to our major key players. I don't need to see anyone get injured at all in this game. So with that being said, man, it's pretty much it as far as the game goes. I really honestly just feel like, man, this is gonna be that type of game. This is just gonna be another one of those games, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Even let's say we lose this, obviously it's not the end of the game. Even though we'd be 5-7. The Saints, in all likelihood, anything could happen in that game too. Anything could, but in all likelihood, the Lions should beat the Saints, and they would fall to 5-7. Tampa Bay, Carolina could maybe go either way, but the Bucs probably should win. So one way or another, you're talking about that game versus Tampa Bay next week. That is a pretty big game. But with that being said, man, I definitely feel like this is a game we can win. I feel like this is a game we should win, but I also feel like this is a game I just look at and I say, the Falcons are just, I hate to say it, watching this team, and I feel like, Falcons fans need to pick up on this. We're going to be disappointed at some point. And I hate to be that guy, but it's just true. It's just true. So, with that being said, man, I'm definitely rooting for a win. I want to be proved wrong. I want to come on here and say I was wrong. Let's go get this win. As I say, I need to see consistency. So still, let's go. Get a nice win up there. Come home with no injuries. And get ready for, as we really move on with this final stretch of the season. But with that being said, there's really nothing else for me to say about this game. I think I've covered it with everything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, whatever you want to say, peace. I'll see you guys next time.